What is up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Jesus Conde. In today's episode we're going to be starting to apply detail, so let's get started. Alright guys, so the first thing that we're going to be doing here is doing some extra work on the background. Like what I did like it, but it felt so simple that I just decided I needed to go into more detail and find a reference that I liked better, because of what I had, it worked for that moment. Like I felt it was good enough, but then I was asking for feedback, especially to people that is not really into art. Like some people may say, well, that's weird, why would you ask people that is not an artist? And exactly that's the reason why. Like they will tell me all these other things that are really important too, but somebody that is not an artist can actually see major problems on your image if you don't really notice. You may be thinking that your palette of color is gray because it's cohesive, it's like the same tone, is monochrome and stuff like that. But some people just don't get it. Like, why is it everything of the same color, for example? So I did some quick testing, like a greenish background, using the same thing I got, just put a color layer on top and testing what it will look if the background had more green on it, and it did look better. And it made me think, I wonder if I just look for, instead of a completely autumn looking background, something more like in the middle. And I think it really works. So that's the new direction that I took with this image. And of course, if you do that, you need to find some new reference and try to apply that on the painting in the less hurtful way as possible, so you don't have to like redo the whole thing. Just adding bits here and there that kind of hint what you're looking for, so when you get to the detailing phase, you're really on a good spot. Like right now, it feels like there's a lot of new work to do, and it does feel like that. That's why I'm breathing this way because there's a lot of stuff that I have to cover to finish this image, but we get in there, we get into the end. And today I made a big chunk of progress. You will see soon enough that I have this kind of technique. I don't really know if that's something that I'm the only person that does that, honestly. I've said it before on the channel, like you guys have seen how I do it, and I usually concentrate on like quadrants. I used to do like a grid, and now it's more like a quadrant kind of thing to detail the paintings. Here at this moment I'm trying to add some shadows on the girl, but they don't look so good. They look more like dirt or like a camo or something. They don't really look like a shadow to me, but I will figure that out. I'm just testing. Like if you were in this kind of environment with a lot of trees and stuff, probably you will be covered with a lot of shadows here and there. And yeah, it's something that I was struggling a lot. Then I also made the composition like a little bit farther. I try to back up with the camera a little bit. By the way, guys, if you like this kind of content, please give me a thumbs up or subscribe. That will really help the channel and promote the video, so the algorithm picks it up. And going back to this painting, what you saw was I just copy paste the same painting, the whole painting again. That's with Control Shift C, and then paste it again. And now, as you just saw, I just put this kind of file that I made myself, which makes it really easy to just focus on one part of the painting. And I do this first of all because I want to see what the level of the complexity of the whole painting will be if I just detail one tiny part. But if the part of the painting that I detail is too small, I really don't get to, it doesn't really tell me anything. So I need a big chunk of the image to be kind of complete, to figure out what the level of detail of the whole painting is gonna be. So in this case, I have this file that I created, which is basically divided the image in 4 parts, and then I just cut one chunk of it, and that free spot is the one that I'm going to be painting, and I put that obviously on the top of the layer, so I don't have quickly access to it, so I don't paint on top of that by accident. I also made that little layer, and it's that by default. Like when I import it, is a smart object. So if I accidentally click on it and start painting, it will give me a message of, hey, you are about to paint on top of a smart object. Are you sure you want to do that? So that's a kind of a warning that I didn't have before when I used to use old Photoshops. And man, sometimes I will be doing this kind of grid thing, and I will be just losing progress because I will be painting on top of a layer that is not really the one that I should be painting. Anyway, because of the change on the background, I do have to do a little bit of changes here and there with the skin color, because if you were in this environment, you will be receiving a lot of bounce light from the trees, like greens and orange, yellow, and all the stuff. Mostly the one that worries me a lot is the green, because it tends to affect a lot the color of the skin. So I did try to apply just a tiny bit of green here and there, and I think that's enough for now. I will be seeing later what happens, if I need to add more or what. But at this moment, it's like I'm just trying to focus on the details, not to go too much into detail. If you notice, the size of the brush it's kind of small, but it's not super tiny. Like, I'm not going into extremely detail here. It's just good enough detail so you can see what's going on. And also I'm trying to kind of have a size of brush that is gonna allow me to go faster, like to make this quicker. Because if I don't do that, if I don't manage that, then you will be like painting forever, not knowing when it's gonna end. And that's not the point here. Like, I'm just trying to make an image that looks cool, looks pretty. I'm not trying to achieve hyperrealism just because of it, So it's a good thing to keep in mind. And what else can I say? Here I'm painting a little bit of subsurface scattering with a more intense orange color, and also adding more and more leaves as much as I can everywhere I can. You have to be constantly thinking of what's the level of detail that you have. One good way of doing that is to doing what I'm doing with that restriction of just working on this area is allowing me to just concentrate on looking at this little part of the image instead of the whole painting. When I'm looking at the whole painting, and a lot of artists will have a problem with this technique. Like, this is not something that is like official or anything. This is something that I discovered that I like doing, mostly because of my concentration. I wanted to be able to just keep focused on one tiny part and finish that part and never go back to it again. Like, I don't once this part is done, I don't have to retouch it. Although, like, if there's something that I kind of want to do or change, I will actually go back to it, but I don't have to, because the detail that I did there is good enough for me to just jump to another area. And that's the way that I'm treating my work for a couple of years now. Well, I think more than a couple of years. But anyway, it's like a process that allows me to be more, how do I say that, productive, because it's kind of easy to just go and detail this tiny part, like just concentrate on that. And if you have your day blocked in different like a scheduled what you have to do for today or something like that, this really helps because you can just concentrate on okay, so I'm just gonna concentrate on this tiny part, and if I do this, then if it's divided in 4 parts, it makes sense that the image then will take you 4 days to finish, for example. In this case, I'm just working this progress today actually was more than 1 hour, was like 1 hour and 20 or something like that, so, or 30, I don't remember. But what I want to say was, let's say all the parts take the same thing. So in this case, you know that I have at least 4 more hours of work actually. If I make the math of the same thing that it took me today, like 1 hour and 20, and you have 3 more areas to cover, you will need at least 4 more days. But we all know that not all the areas need the same amount of work. Like this part right here with the face and all that, for me is more important than the arm at the lower right and the bottom left too. Like those areas, even just the quantity, like the difference in quantity of colors, for example, can make a huge difference in how much time you spend doing something. Like if the palette of color is more similar, like the lower left of the painting, for example, it will actually get done quicker. Like I really believe that. That's something, because as you know me, I'm trying to pick colors from the same image with the eyedropper. So if I had to just pick the same colors all over and over again, sorry, it will make it be more it will be way easier, like it will be way faster. So I really believe that this method kind of works, especially if you're not working against time. Like right now, I did promise myself that it was gonna take about 1 hour to do progress for each video, but it actually took a little bit more, like 1 hour and 20, and that's fine. But the lower left and lower right areas, I think they're going to be done in 1 hour and 20 or something, both of them. So instead of being like 4 days, maybe just a couple of days more of work on this image. Even the back of the head, like to me that is less important than the face itself. Like the main focus of attention is gonna be the face and the leaf butterfly on her nose. So everything else is basically secondary actually, and it's not to take away the importance of those parts of the painting, but it's actually that is quite something that is done, I think, in art. Like there's some parts that you actually have to focus on and the others just not, and that's good, that's normal. Anyway guys, let me know what you think in the comments. Please give me a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't, and thanks for watching. See you guys tomorrow.